Hi, and welcome to Alaskan in the Philippines, currently in Thailand. Today I thought I'd tell you all about my walk. Every morning I take a walk. I usually go down to Soy 94 and it's dead. I usually get out there around 6:30 in the morning, and 6:37 is the latest usually because the sun's coming up, and if it gets hot really fast here. So I want to go to the beach, and there's no shade on the beach, so you got to get there before it sun's up too high, or you burn pretty quickly. Sometimes if I'm late, I have to take a tour, and I go down the main road and just walk down the main road past Market Village and go down there about a couple of miles. There's another entrance to the beach where it's kind of this market way going into the beach, and it's a nice walk. There's past these shops, all these small massage parlor shops. They sell geese or duck. They have these ducks, Peking duck hanging up in big vats of soup and stuff. It's pretty cool. They serve some good food. But this morning I walked to the beach, and I was going to go to the beach, but the tide was all high, crashing big waves. Looked real nice, real beautiful. Crashing big waves right on the beach. There was no beach to walk, so I had to come out, and I needed some exercise. I haven't been walking very much. So I went out and went to the main road and walked down the main road. And it was Saturday morning here, and it wasn't the traffic like there is on a school day. It was pretty, little bit mellower traffic. It's a beautiful walk, a lot of brick sidewalk, and you walk past what looks to me like a palace, and just a huge, beautiful grounds with all these mango trees. Everything's pruned, immaculate, with this royal looking gate. It's got to be one of the palaces, one of these. And I can't read what it says. It's in Thai, but there's a picture of a crown, so I know it must be the king's, one of the king's places here in Hua Hin. One of the kings was from here. The current king's father was from here. This is his hometown, from what I understand. So there's these bunch of palaces and everything around here. Temples too. There's lots of temples in this area. But anyway, I was walking down past, and there's a police station and a post office when you go down further. I'm kind of getting to know my way around. If I needed to get mail, you can there's a post office, and there's an actual police station, although I don't see much of a police presence other than right there. I see them coming and going sometimes, but when you walk by it, but you don't see them around town hardly at all. To me, I never see police. I seen the tourist police once. But anyway, I'm walking down the road, and there's this park bench, and there was this homeless looking guy. He was collecting plastic bottles. Everybody here collects plastic. It's big business. I watched the garbage cans right across the street at the next condo across the street. They have their garbage cans out here, and every day I see at least 5 or more people stop up and pick through them garbage cans for plastic. One comes and gets cardboard, and the rest are all looking for plastic or tin cans. And they pull up with their bikes with a sidecar, and they pile them up in there, or bicycles even they come, or walking, I see. It's a big business. I've seen it in the Philippines too, but here it's real big business. I never seen these cans get checked every day, 5 times a day. I watch it right out my window here. But anyway, I noticed this guy that was sitting there peeling the labels off of plastic bottles and just throwing them right on the ground. And I'd seen this this is when I seen him a couple of weeks ago. About a month back, I seen him sitting there, and I walked by him, said good morning to him. He said something back to me, I forget what. And I walked down and walked past again. When I came past again, all the labels were laying there, and he was gone, and the plastic bottles and him were gone. He just peeled the labels and left them right there. I thought that was strange. I could tell he had a little mental problem when I looked at him. He was cross-eyed or something. And then when I went into the hospital, I had this crazy guy there. He was always getting scolded by the nurses. He had mental issues walking around. I mentioned it in a video. I could tell he was real dirty. And he came up and sat on my bed. He actually had feces coming out of stains on his hospital clothes. Sits right next to me. He wanted to talk to me, and he couldn't speak English. I had to translate. I was translating to that little boy at the time. I was teaching him English, and I was doing some translation on him, showing him some videos of Alaska and the snow and stuff. when his dad was getting worked on in there. But that kind of crazy guy came up and sat down next to me. He wanted to talk to me, and I asked him he got hurt his leg, he said, through the translator, jumping into a dumpster, getting plastic bottles, and he cut himself. And I was like, oh yeah. And he wanted to be my friend there, and the nurses finally drove him off. They actually had to get the security of the hospital to come and escort him into his bed to keep him in his area, because he was just wandering around causing all kinds of problems. But he was there talking to me for a while, and I had to use the translator, and I could see he had one white eye, like he was blind, smoked or cataract or something over white, and I had to look at my phone really close when he was doing the translation. But that's what he said he did. He collects bottles. But anyway, fast forward, now it's 2 weeks later, and this morning I was walking down the road and I see that guy sitting there on the bench again, and I realized it was the same guy that peeled the labels there last time. And I walked past him and I looked at him and I realized it was the guy from the hospital. I think so, and I looked and I was walking past. I said, that looked like the guy that was in the hospital that came up and talked to me. So I went down and walked to the beach like I normally do, just down to the road past the police station, and came back up. And I walked past him again, and sure enough, I was going to check this time if it was him or not. And I stopped and I said, good morning. In Thai, I said it because I knew I was like, Swati Dan Chow. He looked at me, he smiled. He said, yeah, good morning, or something. And I looked at him, I could see, and it was him. And he looked really dirty, like even dirtier than he was in the hospital, like he'd been dumpster diving again. And he had some bottles with him again. He had a pile of bottles there, and I don't know what he was sitting there thinking by himself. I go, you remember me from the hospital? And he looked at me, hospital? I said, Hua Hin Hospital? And he just repeated everything I said in English, mimicking me. I said, Hua Hin Hospital? And he said, Hua Hin Hospital. I said, Alaska, remember Alaska? He said, Alaska, Alaska. And he looked up at me, and his eyes are really red. I mean, blood red, like he'd been up for days, or he was drunk, or some kind of meth or something. He was really out of it. He didn't remember me. He couldn't tell he didn't remember me or nothing. I just gave him 100 baht. I said, here, and I walked away. But I thought he would remember me, but he was so high or something. He wasn't there. He was mentally gone anyway, but I thought he would have remembered me. But no, there was no memory of me. So I gave him 100 and walked away. Continued my journey on up where I just came. I just walked down the road a couple of miles and then back up to come up to Soi 94, walk down it and then over just one block to my condo here. And then I made it all the way up to Soi 94. And it's nice because there's shade along that walkway. It's all shade. The buildings along the beach, all the big high-rise condos and high-rise hotels, the big name ones are right on the beach there, and they're so tall that they make shade for you. So if the sun's hot on the beach and I can't walk, I walk in the shade of all those buildings. And it works. It's completely shaded if you're right on that side of the street all the way for miles while the sun's up in the morning and cooking the beach. It's good and shady right there. Good place to walk. So I walked back up the same side and got up, started walking down Soi 94, across the railroad tracks where the 7-Eleven is, walking down to about the Lucky 13 Sandwiches building was. And there was this lady hollering and something, and bending down, picking up rocks and looking up in the wires and hollering and something and throwing stuff up. And I was like, what's going on here? And I thought, this got to be good. And I had my phone in my hand, so I activated my flip phone and started videoing. And it was those monkeys. I'd seen monkeys here about 2 weeks ago, or no, about 2 months ago. And I was telling my hairdresser friend, I said, there's a whole troop of monkeys going down the wires over here in Soi 94. And she said, there's no monkeys on Soi 94. I said, yeah, but I see 20 of them going down the wires. And I did. A whole troop of monkeys. They were all walking down the wires on all fours. And she didn't believe me, I don't think. And I couldn't take a picture of them. They were too far. So this morning, that lady was yelling and looking up on the wires. And I flipped open my phone and I looked. And sure enough, she was hollering at a monkey. She had a food cart stand right below a tree, that had these grape-looking things. They got these clusters of grapes. I seen them just starting to recently sprout out. I don't know what they are. They look like they're a fruit, though. I wanted to try one. I didn't, though. But they're clusters of like grapes right on the branches. Really weird. I got some footage. I'll probably upload a little of that too. But she was hollering at the monkey up in the wires, and the monkey was up in the wires just like I seen before when I was walking. So I looked, and there was two of them, and I seen they were walking down the wires. I videoed them walking down the wires, and they get into the tree with the little grape things growing on them. And the lady was hollering at them, trying to get them away from her cart. And I looked in the tree and that they went into, and there was another monkey in there. So there was probably a whole troop of them nearby, or more than what I was seeing, like three or four maybe. And there's probably more than that, because when I seen them go down the wires, and it was where I saw them on the wires from my building. I was looking out the window when I saw them, and it was about a quarter-mile away. I couldn't video it or nothing. I knew, and it was the same wires. It was just right near where it was. It was down, if you know Soy 94, it's right down by Lucky 13 Sandwiches, right up on them thick. They got these thick wires here and all over Thailand and the Philippines. You could walk down them, they're so thick, you know, but these monkeys use them as travel ways. And I always leave my sliding glass door open. And I was asking her, is there a problem with monkeys around here? Should they go in my room and take my stuff? No, there's no monkeys. That's why I was asking. So I've been leaving it open. So there actually is monkeys, because it's only one block over. They could easily come. And I hear, got this giant acacia tree out here. I look out at it every morning. One of these mornings, I'm probably going to see a pack of monkeys in it. And they could easily jump into my window. There's a little ledge roof down here, so they could come in if they wanted. I don't think it'll happen. There's no real wire way. They'd have to take the ground to come over. I don't think they would. They probably got better things to do and better places. But yeah, there's monkeys around this town all over that probably hide in little groves of fruit trees. Everybody has fruit trees growing here. Everybody. It's a tax incentive. If you can, even an empty lot, you'll see they plant coconut trees or even one or two banana trees on an empty lot. Every empty lot is just always has a fruit tree or three. Some they plant them full of fruit trees. It's a tax write-off. As long as there's a fruit tree growing on it, they get it as a free, no property tax. So everybody that owns property around here, you'll see, even if they're not living on it, they'll have a bananas, a papaya tree. This lot next door has one papaya bush on it. It's only about 6 feet, 7 feet tall, one papaya bush, and it's a big empty lot, and it's tax-free for him. But anyway, these monkeys probably go through all these people's, even people with yards, they all have a fruit trees in their yards for a tax write-off too. So everybody's got a fruit tree of some sort in their yard, usually bananas and some other weird things. I don't even know what they are. Pomegranates. I see a lot of people have pomegranates bushes. So these monkeys are probably foraging in these people's fruit trees at the certain times of the year. They move around traveling on these wires. But anyway, I got to vindicate the story of the monkeys on the wires that I had no proof and people thought I was crazy. But yeah, there's monkeys on Soy 94, and I'll upload the proof. I'll have a video uploaded, shorts probably. Wasn't very long. So yeah, anyway, that was kind of an interesting walk this morning to see that guy and then to see the monkey episode trying to harass the cart lady. They're kind of little, I don't trust them, man. I've watched some videos of where they come up and they'll bite you trying to get whatever you have. If you have a wallet or anything, or they see you carrying something, they'll come up and try to bite your arm, if make you drop it. They're rotten little shits, and I don't trust them. And I don't take it from animals. If I have a monkey around, I'd like to have a stick in my hand just to remind them of who's boss here. But anyway, I don't expect any problems walking around here anyway. But that was my monkey episode this morning, my walk. We'll see you in the next one. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for watching. Bye now.